Britain is one of the most multicultural societies on earth. Every year, thousands of tourists and migrants come here for pleasure, to do business, or to make a better life for themselves. So, how much of our public services should they be allowed to use? The short answer is it's not clear. Despite recent NHS guidance, we've discovered continuing uncertainty about who has the right to register with a GP. Hospitals are a different story. Most foreigners should pay for hospital services either in person or through their governments. Now, all of this has led to confusion and left the system open to abuse. We began our investigation in the spring by finding out whether we could buy our way into the GP system. Through contacts in Lagos, we've been given the details of a Nigerian in London called Femi, who says he gets health tourists registered with a doctor for a price. I'm going to meet a Nigerian journalist who now lives here, Francis. He'll be pretending he's come to Britain to get treatment he's not entitled to. Hi, I'm Declan. Nice to meet you. How are you doing? He says he can get someone registered with a GP for a price. Film what happens next, go along with it, and see if he can get you registered as he says he can. All right. It's early June. Our man Francis has arranged to meet the fixer in Woolwich, southeast London. If the fixer, Femi, can get us registered with a GP, it will be the first step to getting free treatment on the NHS. Francis heads to the bookies and waits, and then the fixer, Femi, arrives. We've given Francis a medical complaint, a problem with his legs known as restless leg syndrome, a nervous condition which causes discomfort, particularly at night. It's enough to make Femi curious. So, can this fixer get us registered, no questions asked, at a doctor's surgery? Femi is offering an open door into the NHS, but it doesn't come cheap. He says we'll have to pay £300 for the privilege.
200
It looks like Francis is about to enter the system. The common term for what he's doing is health tourism. The NHS is a magnet for people of all backgrounds, some wealthy, some not. But it has its own police force to fight fraud. I went to meet its former head.
I can think of examples of people who came from China to actually obtain free treatment. There are examples from Africa too, but it would be wrong to imagine that there is one source of people who come to this country to actually seek free health treatment. Wherever their own countries don't provide the quality of healthcare that they would want, or they're seeking to get something on the cheap.
Gail Beer is the former head of a large London hospital. She believes when it comes to health tourism, the biggest problem isn't people flying in for treatment, but people already here who need to access the system.
We define it as health tourism, but in fact that's a small number of people who come over here deliberately to have a particular treatment. There's a much larger number who are not eligible for treatment, and that'll be because they're not ordinary resident. It may be an illegal immigrant. But on the other hand, it's people who, expats who've lived abroad and then come back into this country. So it's quite a wide range.
for illegal immigrants living in a shadow economy, becoming ill can be a costly and dangerous business. It can lead to them being exploited by unscrupulous middlemen. I wanted to meet one for myself, so I'm going undercover, and I'll be helped by our second undercover operative, Raj. We'd heard that in immigrant communities all over the country, these middlemen were taking cash to get people access to doctors.
A man by the name of Ayub.
He's made contact with a middleman in the Indian community who claims he can register you with a doctor at a practice that normally requires ID. To see if that's true, I'm pretending to be an illegal immigrant from Kosovo who has severe back pain.
And you're going to go by the name of Declan Lawn.
It's risky, but it will allow me to meet the middleman up close. So we're on our way to meet Ayub. He's given us a time and a place to meet him. Now he says he can get me a legitimate NHS card and also get me on a doctor's list. And that would be the first step towards me getting treated for free on the NHS.
Ayub, Declan. ਇਹਦਾ ਕਾਰਡ ਬਣਾ ਦਿਓ ਹਮੇ ਇਦਾਂ ਅੱਛਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਕਾਰਡ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਸਮਝਾਤੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ
I tell him I've got a bad back and I need a doctor.
Okay. ਇਹ ਕੋਸੋਵੋ ਨੇ ਆ ਕੋਸੋਵੋ ਦਾ ਹੈ ਅੱਛਾ ਕੋਸੋਵੋ ਦਾ ਹੈ ਹਾਂ ਨਾਓ ਓਕੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਆ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਮੰਗਨੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ
200 ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ
200
ਨਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੋਏ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਇਮਾਨਤ
ਅੱਛਾ
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਭਰਾ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ ਹਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਆਣ ਨਾਲੇ ਲੈਣਾ
200 ਦੇਖੇ ਹੱਥ ਕੰਮ ਦੇ ਇਹਦੇ
ਆਹੋ ਬਿਮਾਰ ਹੈ ਵਿਚਾਰਾ
What will I actually get for my money?
ਯਾਰ ਉਹਦਾ ਡਾਕਟਰੀ ਕਾਰਡ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹਦਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਆਏਗਾ ਤੇ ਘਰ ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਜੀਪੀ ਬਣੇਗਾ ਬਕਾਇਦਾ ਜਾ ਕੇ
NHS ਕਾਰਡ
I ask how many times I can see the doctor.
ਨਹੀਂ any time long time
anytime thank you very much
lifetime life
Ayub has bought my Declan Lawn character, the Kosovan alias. Declan is going to get his own NHS number on the doctor's card and a place on a doctor's list. Remember, everything about Declan is fake. His name, his address, his date of birth. Now, it's a waiting game to see if Ayub delivers. Back in South London, and we've heard from Femi again. He's the Nigerian fixer, promising our undercover man, posing as a health tourist, free treatment on the NHS. And he's offering a personal service. He takes our secret health tourist Francis to be registered at a GP surgery. Together, they fill in the registration form.
Have you got something with your address on it?
No.
You just want to register? Take a bottle from the blue box and pass
it. It looks like the fixer has delivered on his promise. Francis is registered. So, is the fixer Femi telling the truth? Does he have someone on the inside? Or is this service available to anyone who walks into the surgery with a friend from overseas? To find out, we called the surgery to check, to see how they'd handle a request from any other overseas visitor. They told us they wouldn't register a health tourist. So Femi is getting a service not available to the rest of us. It looks like he's got an arrangement to register whoever he wants, no questions asked. And by taking cash for this service, he may be committing fraud. So should the NHS be opened up to anyone who has made it to this country? Or should it draw a line in the sand and deliver only emergency treatment to people who are not entitled to care, as happens in some other countries?
Nice to meet you.
That has become a hot political issue. The pressure group Migration Watch campaigns on immigration.
It's a national health service, it's not an international health service. Our founding fathers, Nye Bevan, I'm sure, didn't think that he was going to provide a service that provided health care for the whole world. That wasn't what it was all about, and it shouldn't be.
But others believe that the regulations governing the health service should allow it to treat everyone in the UK, visitors, residents and illegal immigrants alike.
It is going to cause damage to individuals' health, but the other side of it is the public health as well. If you're dealing with contagious diseases of one sort or another, then there could be other victims as a result of poor regulation.
Under the current system, some vulnerable illegal immigrants are paying middlemen so that they get treatment on the NHS without questions about their immigration status. But for a few, accessing the NHS below the radar can come at a huge personal cost. Meet Daljit. He's an illegal immigrant who got £15,000 worth of free treatment on the NHS. In 1996, Daljit was smuggled into the UK from India and worked illegally on building sites. He began to feel debilitating pain in his hips. It turned out that long hours operating a pneumatic drill had destroyed his hip joints. He needed help.
I was living illegally here, so didn't have GP, so I talked to someone. Someone told me like, this man can, get you GP. So I talked to him, I paid him £300 to get me GP.
So this is a middleman?
It is middleman, yeah.
Daljit says he had no choice because officially he didn't exist.
I'm an illegal immigrant. I tried before by myself. They asked like, oh, bring your 2 bills, like electricity bill or something, or your ID with photo ID. But if you go through them, they don't ask nothing.
Did the GP know that you were an illegal immigrant?
He never asked me nothing, and I never told him because I was scared if I told him, I might not get my treatment.
He says the hospital did ask him if he was living here legally. He simply lied, and nobody checked.
I just told them, I said I got like permanent visa.
So you got treated then on the NHS?
Yeah.
What did they do for you?
They just replaced my hip. And then I had another operation on my right leg. And
what was wrong with your right leg?
the same thing.
Right. So you've had a double hip replacement?
Yeah.
On the NHS?
Yeah.
Following his hip replacement, Daljit should have seen his GP regularly.